Welcome to Book Thots, brand lifestyle podcast. We are thoughts for books, and these are our thoughts on books. I'm Adriana.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Jenna.
Three sisters stripping down one book at a time. Today, we will be reviewing chapters 52 through 59 for part 8 of our 10-week journey through Heat of the Everflame, the third book in the Kindred's Curse saga.
Before we jump in, we do have a content warning. Today's podcast is rated mature. We are Book Thoughts after all, so we're going to be using adult language, talking about adult topics, so please pay attention to who may be listening near you. Additionally, this episode will include spoilers for all 3 current books. Each episode, we will focus on specific chapters, but our conversation will include the entire series. So if you haven't read it, today's episode is not for you. Lastly, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. Maybe we, but definitely Jenna and I will at least mispronounce a name or a place. Jenna will be leading the episode, and it's also her birthday. Not the day this is being released, but the day we're recording this. How does it feel to be 21?
I'm 29, but it feels great.
29? 29 and fine.
Mm-hmm.
30s are just around the corner.
They are. I can practically see them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can practically feel them. It's like you almost are in your 30s.
It's my body might have some 30s in it.
Mentally, 20s.
Yeah.
Physically and scientifically, 30s.
Born 30 something years ago, but 29.
And
That's
since it's her
fine.
birthday, we
You're
decided
allowed
to
to.
make her lead the episode. So,
Yeah.
strip it down, girl. Strip it down, girl.
All right, we're going to start off at chapter 52. Diem is finally reunited with her mother in the awful cells of Fortos. Upon closer inspection, Diem realizes her mother is truly a prisoner who has been tortured and left to rot down in this terrible place. While Luther fights with the king about the condition of his prisoners, Diem uses Fortos magic to heal her mother. They begin to discuss their time apart, and Diem reveals that Andre has been killed. Orelai and her grieve together for his loss. Diem takes the responsibility for his death solely on herself, reciting the words inscribed on the walls, but leaving out rebel scum, trying to spare her mother some of the guilt she's feeling. Also, during their conversation, Orelai is insistent that Diem can go to the Guardians and they'll help her find his killer. Of course, we all know how that's going to go and how the Guardians continue to pan out for Diem. Arlie is genuinely confused when Diem says the Guardians won't help me. I'm descended. Arlie is befuddled. But you have a mortal father, mother, brother. You were raised as one. I am descended is Diem's only response. And it has Arlie taking a dose of reality she's been refusing to let herself or anyone see for over a decade now. Arlie brings up Diem's birth father when Diem is questioning her, asking how she could keep all this from her, drug her, and make her believe she was crazy. Arlie seems lost in the past and scared when she starts to talk about it, but quickly clams up when the Fortos King begins to listen in. Diem demands a private conference with her mother, and reluctantly the group begins to head towards some other cells for that to be granted. When a woman being held prisoner leaps for the king's neck, he uses his magic and she completely goes through all the stages of human decomposition right before Diem's eyes. While Diem is escorting her mother alongside Luther and the Fortos King, she hears her mother memorizing the path. She uses her Umbros magic to warn her not to try anything and tells her she's not leaving Fortos without her. Arlie gets excited, but when she learns Diem hasn't brought the Guardians and is planning the escape with only herself and Luther and Sarai, she becomes less enthusiastic and even tells Diem to tell her. I put that in there.
I love that.
Guys. She's sorry she wasn't there and loves him, which really doesn't make up a lot for the lying and secrecy, in my opinion, but I will say it's a hell of a lot more than she just gave Diem when confronted with her choices. Once they reach the cell the king has deemed safe for them to have a private discussion in, Diem and Orelai go in while Luther and the king stay out, separated by a godstone slab door. Arlie, once again, doubting Diem can get her out, tells her to just leave and she'll escape and find somewhere to hide out and then make it on her own. Diem overhears the Fortos King receive 2 messenger hawks, one from Arbros and the other from Regent Remus.
I'm laughing because you probably wore the loudest kid in the
Can you
world.
hear it?
I could hear it when you like raise your arm. It's gonna be fine. Like I think it's gonna be mainly us hearing it, but just that one little movement at the end, it was like like a swish.
I'm sorry.
I
It's
do
cute.
like your jacket.
Yeah, it's
though.
very cute.
Before you jump into your questions, I was listening to the audiobook because sometimes I will jump back and forth and I haven't listened to it in a while. You know how we say Coriel or Coriel?
Mhm.
Cottonelle.
It's Coreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I was like, man,
don't
we
doubt
are
it.
so far off. It's not even funny.
That's why I like to call it Cottonelle.
I like
Toilet
that.
paper.
The
Yeah.
toilet paper.
You do
Mhm.
call that one cottonelle.
Yeah.
There's another one you call something too.
Oh, probably every single word in this book. I don't even think we need to go through your questions. I think we just talk about how much we hate Arlie in this chapter.
That's fine. I'm down.
To talk about just anger. Just
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't happy the entire, what do you call that? When I go over the chapters,
yeah.
I hated it. I hated all of it. Arlie
Yeah.
just pissed me off at every fucking turn. Just
Yeah.
so mad. Like the fact that she takes the time to be like, oh, DM, tell her that I love him and that
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm like, when did you say that to your daughter? Like,
Mhm.
you literally drugged her for over 10 years and she confronted you with that. You hid her birth father from her and you're not even telling her now. And you have the gall to say sorry to tell her when she's right in front of your face.
The wheels were turning though while reading this, and I was thinking, what mother does all this? And the answer is no good mother. So I was thinking, like, why would Arlie do all this? Why is she being so secretive? She's a leader of the Guardians. Could there be more to this? And you brought up a good thing a couple chapters ago about the man with red hair leaning against the tree. Like, what if somehow she's like the great great granddaughter of the keeper of the Everflame tree or something? And so her mission has been like, she knew, like, almost like God coming to Mary and say, I'm going to give you a baby and he's going to be the Messiah. The Everflame tree came to Arlie and was like, you're going to have a daughter. You need to have it with the forgotten son. Like all this stuff.
I don't think that far. My fan theory down here is that Arlie is a royal. Like from the mortal line of their royals, because there has to be, she's a royal. That's why she knows everything, and that's why she's like so insistent on being there for her people and letting her family like fall by the wayside or be like, you guys will hold on for longer. I have to be there for my people.
It's a lot on her shoulders, if that's the case. But it doesn't excuse for how if I was DM, I don't even know if I'd be able to like comfort her and sob with her about my dad dying. I'd be like, your husband died, and that's like, I'm so sorry, but I'm so angry with you. I can't see past my anger.
Why? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Why did because I was kind of angry rereading this, I almost, before she finally like opens that mind-to-mind connection that Umbros has and like can actually show her things or talk to her, I was like, I would have just showed her the entire scene I walked in upon.
I would have muted her.
I mean,
You would have muted her?
Yeah, because you can control her mind and be like, and you're done talking.
I
for
see.
The
Yeah.
remainder of the
you know what she should do is just open her mind and see everything in it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But okay, but Emily brought up something that I am going to ask my question. I said, would you have kept the rebel scum to yourself or would you have shared it with Arlie?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, so like
This-
on the wall,
yeah.
there's 3 things painted
Oh.
and 2 are about being like half mortal and like whatever descended lover
yeah.
or whatever it was. But the 3rd one is rebel scum.
Oh, yeah,
So
no,
like
I would-
hinting at that he's killed because Arlie is part of the Guardians.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
would've told
honestly
her.
think it's because of her. I don't think it's just DM. I think it's a combination of the two.
Oh, no, I think totally the rebels killed him still.
Yeah,
I believe that
think-
with my whole heart. But I would have totally told her just to hurt her. I would have, because I mean, I would have. I'm in pain. I've been in pain for months. You lied to me. So I would have said, yeah, and by the way,
You're not even being remorseful about
No.
anything that pertains
No.
to me.
You've been
You're
gone a
remor-
year.
Yeah. You're remorseful that your husband's dead and that you weren't there, but you don't even say anything to me personally.
Yeah.
Like you're completely ignoring my existence pretty much as a mother. And it is clear that she does do things later in these chapters that prove that she does care about Diem and that she does think of her as her daughter. But it's just so like she's just very frustrating as a parent figure.
Well, yeah, she doesn't believe her daughter when her daughter's like, yeah, the rebels don't like me.
Yeah.
You kind of
refuses
instilled
Go to
this.
the
to believe
Guardians.
that.
Go to the
Yeah.
Guardians. That also really got under my skin. Like, you're going
But
to
advance.
hide that you are a guardian from me while we're together for the first 19 years of my life. And then I see you and you don't even tell me yourself that you're the guardian leader. We have no conversation about that whatsoever. And then you immediately tell me to go to the Guardians and they'll help me.
Yeah.
Like that, I was just like, holy shit. Are you serious?
She just assumed she found out, which
Well,
she would have.
yeah, she obviously knew since she was in the cell, like rescuing her,
yeah.
which Arlie can't even trust her to do, which is ridiculous.
And she still hasn't really accepted that she's descended. I'm like, you still don't understand. She does quite a few things in these next couple of chapters where I will probably hate on her as much as I have hated on Henry. I can't help it.
She's at the level, if not worse, for me.
Yeah.
Especially since, like you were saying, like there's just so much she has yet to reveal, because anytime she brings up the fact, like, or the king, even in Fortos, brought up the fact that she's just not a healer. So it's hinting at her past, it's hinting at her mission, it's hinting at things that she does not want to confront and have that conversation with Diem yet. No matter if it's because Luther is around or wherever they are, like, you need to have a sit-down conversation with your daughter and be real about it.
I would have had it right then and there.
Yeah, like,
I wouldn't have been able to focus on
you
anything
can speak
else.
mind to mind. Here we go. We don't
Yeah.
have to go anywhere
Yeah.
private at all. We don't have to be in this dumb situation where there's Godstone protecting the Fortos
Yeah.
King from us. We can just talk out in the open and he doesn't know what's going on. That was my other thing. I was like, the only intelligent thing that I saw from Fortos was him putting Diem behind the Godstone door and then torturing Luther.
It
Yeah.
is funny.
That's the only thing that he did.
That was the stupidest thing that she's ever done, though.
Oh my
And
God, so dumb.
it was funny, though, how much Diem is talking about how stupid he is in these chapters. I
Yeah.
was like, did Jenna write these chapters?
Yeah. I know. I even quote her in a little bit. I'll just start it off. Chapter 53. Holy shit. This chapter solidifies some theories for me. 1, I believe Diem to be of direct kindred descent. I really think that we were on the mark
I
with
don't
that
even
one.
think that's a theory.
Okay.
At this point, that's like a proven fact. Her dad is a forgotten sibling.
Okay,
Yeah.
so her daddy is a kindred. Lumnos has gray eyes, and when the Fortos King changed, he had gray eyes. Like when he spoke with the kindred voice, his eyes also turned gray. So it's not just specific to Lumnos herself. It's all of the kindred have gray eyes, I now think. Also, I think Arlie was an assassin for the Amarian army. I think that that's why they're like, she was never just a healer.
Yeah.
I think she was an assassin, and that's how she knows how to heal all those things, because
Okay.
she knew first how to end lives.
Yeah. Well, and she handles torture pretty well because she's been through it multiple times, she says.
Mm-hmm. Lastly, when Diem describes the feeling of Godstone, I believe we were right when we said it's the manifestation of death and wrongness given tangible form. Well, that's the quote from the book, but I think that it's created through the person's emotions when they experience like death or wrongness or whatever, and they mix it with magic. I think that that's what manifests from it.
Not just from her, from everyone.
Like anyone
No,
of kindred?
probably just anyone of kindred descent
Can make
can do
Godstone.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that that's kind of spelled out. We had it as a theory before, but when she is touching the Godstone, I think it's kind of spelled out in this chapter for us. And then she describes herself feeling something connected with her blood coming out to balance it. She feels life in her blood coming out to balance the death in the Godstone. And then I just said that that's like the margin of Arlie's binder. Diem, blood, plus life, you know. All right, I guess I'll recap the chapter. The king begins torturing Luther while Diem is trapped behind the Godstone, and Arlie has the fucking audacity to try and stand in Diem's way to prevent her from saving Luther. I honestly don't even get why she's doing this. Ultimately, Diem uses Umbros magic to send her mother away and makes the Godstone door vanish. The Fortos King is left with all his 5 brain cells, Diem said it, so I can too. Misfiring, and after witnessing that, Diem rushes to Luther and heals him, and then they all proceed to gaslight the king into thinking the door was actually only iron, which I find hilarious. The king does also question how Diem used Fortos' healing magic, and then he figures out it was Diem using his rot magic earlier. Bravo, Fortos King, bravo. Arlie starts to use their conversation as a distraction to make a run for it, but Diem and Luther both notice. When she bolts, the Fortos King laughs and says he can finally kill her without the other crown's permission, because he can kill any prisoner on sight for trying to escape. Diem sends Luther to retrieve her mother, and while they're gone, apparently the king wants to fight to the death. He's using a metal Fortosian blade, I'm assuming, while Diem is using a blade of Lumnos Shadow. They fight, and the king reveals he's the one who taught Andre how to fight. Diem wins, even incapacitating the king and covering them both with shadow while using Umbros magic to send some of the guards away, who come searching for them. Once she releases the king from the bindings, he's furious, and Diem really has to put in some effort into dodging his attacks. But once again, she bests him, and he laughs in her face at her choice not to kill him. He changes his demeanor and says he'll allow Diem and her small party to leave uncontested. But when Diem reaches out to shake his hand, he turns things on her and makes to snap her neck, claiming Andre must not have taught her not to let her guard down until a fight was over. Unfortunately for him, Andre did teach that lesson to her, and the king receives a shadow dagger to the inner thigh and artery. Does somebody want to quote what the kindred says through the
I want
king?
you to do it in your best voice.
Never before have I made this choice. It was not an easy one for me, nor will it be for you. Guard my people well. Remember my sister's words. Beware my brother's wrath. Claim me, daughter of the forgotten.
Very well.
That was very good.
Those are the words she gets from the Fortos kindred, and then a circular escape path straight up towards the sky comes through the prison and all the floor. I don't know how many floors they're under, but
A lot.
there's a lot. I said, let's discuss my theories.
It's obvious that it is the Fortos kindred that is talking
Yeah.
through him, because he's like, I've never made this decision before, but like, I'm gonna trust you to take care of my people. So then we can also assume that anytime anyone's ever talked like through like King
Well, they call
Ulster,
They call him the Blessed Father, don't they? The guards do.
Well, yeah, Blessed Father Fortos has never chosen
A woman,
a queen. Yeah. Later, they call her a bitch, and
yeah,
that whole thing
that
happens.
is negative. I can say this. This might be one of the most unbelievable chapters in the entire series. The fact that the Fortos King is bested by a mere mortal trained descended. Because it's like, she's powerful, yes, but like, if he's the king of the battle crew.
Honestly, I felt the same way when the fight was described. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
This is his thing. Like, they took brains away, which we thought he might be kind of smart since he's in charge of a lot of stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
And that wasn't him.
5 brain cells.
All he's got is brawn. And
And
she's
bests
little.
We know she's gonna do it, but I wish it would have been like
full magic invested and like
Yeah, I mean,
everybody going through her.
I guess the point here is that like he did underestimate her because she was a woman, and that is why she won. Because he just never was gonna believe that she was up to his capabilities.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I expect Avatar, like the final episode of Avatar, like full on
fight like that.
Where like she's not even herself.
Yeah, and she kind of wasn't. I mean, she throws a lot his way and she gives him a lot of chances, but I feel like there should have been more. How she beat him should have been more mind stuff. Or I don't know.
It's something, but also I can see like she was trying to conserve some of her magic because she did have a plan forming for like what she wanted to do to get out. But
I think that I do agree with your theory on how Godstone is made, but I still think it's just her. I don't think anyone can make Godstone.
So you don't think it's all the kindred that can make that? Is that what you're meaning? Like it's just
the
her?
kindred had to have made it before.
I think that it's just her daddy that like that line that connected.
Oh, okay. I
That's
see.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because I think it's interesting. We all know they're fighting over her blood. They fought over the blood before. It was called the Blood War. We know that at this point.
So it's
So,
special.
Her blood is special. And she's like, when she's talking about her godhood in this chapter, and then she feels a power that it says, but this power seemed imbued in my blood itself. That's why I think that she's the only one that can do the Godstone, because her blood is so special and so different.
See, I was thinking it might kind of be because she was born on the island. You say it, Adriana.
Cottonelle.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Cottonelle Island,
Yeah.
where the Everflame tree was. I thought it was that power that she was like feeling because it's balanced.
Well, and it's very rare. They always talk about how rare it is because nobody's currently, I don't believe, making it. They just use what they can still find, right?
The
to weaponize
Godstone?
it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I think it's her daddy.
Well, that's when I was reading it, I didn't have the daddy thought. I had the Everflame tree
Okay.
thought.
What if he's
so-
like imprisoned in that? Obviously, we know that. But what if he's imprisoned also so that they can still harvest what they want out of him?
Oh, like
I think
get more Godstone from
Yeah.
him?
Like, well,
maybe.
that, or even create the flame root. What if it has like a power
Well,
to
I
be
think
able
the
to...
flame root's before them. I think
Oh,
that was
okay.
on the island before them.
I think
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's what I think.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could be right, but I also think that they imprisoned him because he got too strong, and that's the only. Like they
Yeah.
were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
dude, this brother's insane."
Well, then they always talk about him like they're terrified of him. So.
Yeah, even the Fortos
Yeah.
kindred says like, "Beware my brother's wrath."
So what I think has happened in the past, quick history lesson, is that all the siblings were like, we don't know how to control them, and they all wanted to do their own thing and their own power, and that's how they like somehow died and lost to him, but they were able to trap him,
Mhm.
and now they see her as a chance to like, you are the only one as powerful as him, so we are going to imbue all of our magic into you
So
to give you a fighting chance
Yeah.
against him, because we made mistakes in the past, and now you're the only hope.
Because all 10 of them came from the other realm. They escaped what was happening there. And the younger brother liked it. And then they gave him his own realm. It was part of Montios. Remember the like scribbled outline that was never redrawn?
Yeah.
They gave him that, but then they realized like we can't let him have any power at all. And so then they did their forging magic and trapped him.
Yeah, they locked him up.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I was making a theory clicked into face earlier, because I'm calling the island Cottonelle, and it is kind of like a roll of toilet paper, because you have the island in the middle and then it's a circle around it. So I'm just saying, like visually, it checks out.
It's going to unroll. And
the
we're gonna be
Cottonelle
like-
theory
There you
is
go.
forming.
All right.
Unraveling.
Chapter 54. Dean begins planning how to get the three of them out of the prison without having to fight, but the hole is too small for Sarai, and then Arlie slams her heels in and refuses to leave without the mortals. Dean rebuttals that she has family that needs her and she promised tell her. Arlie says that they've waited this long, they can wait longer, and her people need her. Does she sound like a queen to anyone else? However pissed Diem may be at this, she does agree that she can't leave without freeing the mortals. Luther warns her that freeing anyone who's a prisoner of the realm without the crown's consent is not going to be good. Plus, the last Fortos king that broke Fortos law was killed and strung up by his people as a message for the future crowns of Fortos. Ooh, doesn't sound pleasant. Despite this, Diem reaches the mortals and receives exactly the welcoming she has with previous guardians. "We'll never trust you," is their only response. Arlie steps up and asks them to trust her instead. First, Diem makes a rousing speech about the type of queen she's going to be and the war she will fight and the purpose behind it. Then she melts the cages and then uses Meros magic to create water for drinking and Arboros magic to make fruit. She accidentally calls a field of dandelions into the prison, and the children start giggling and playing. She makes friends with a woman named Runa because of this. Arlie is questioning her plan to escape, and Diem is having trouble not snapping. Diem uses forging magic to release Luther's magic. Diem goes to the first man she found in the prison, and after checking in his mind to find out why he was captured, It was helping mortals escape. Okay, he's safe. Diem heals him completely, finding out his name is Inez. And then when she asks him to do his magic to help the mortals escape, he says he was drugged with flame root. Diem once again sends her magic into him, but this time she uses that one that seems to be dedicated to balance, that can shatter Godstone, and it eradicates the flame root right out of his blood. She asks for him to show her more descended that will help the mortals escape. The only thing that I really noted here in this chapter was that Diem is learning so much about her magic in these chapters that it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, she finally embraces it. I think that's the big difference here. She's finally like, I do have all this power, so let me try to use all of it.
Yeah, and she's learning that they're kind of separate. So our theory now, is it the Everflame magic or is it the kindred magic?
It's cool though that she has that life, balance, death all within her.
I can't believe she healed that guy's mangled legs, and the healers from Fortos literally healed them wrong so he would be lame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking that she just need to re-break them to heal them the right way.
I mean, that's what she did, I think, because he screams.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that kind of hurts.
Oh,
that
fuck
aches.
me.
Yeah.
Let me go through this again in hopes that you'll get it right.
And he'd been there for decades.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Once again, Arlie's very frustrating in this chapter.
Wait, is this a chapter where it might be the next one where Luther is saying, why is it that everything I find super admiring or whatever about you, it's infuriating with your mother?
That's when she runs off from the Fortos king and tries to escape, and he brings her back, and
she's just so stubborn. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's like, I find these traits endearing in you,
yes.
But God, they are really annoying.
Yeah. She's just, it's just so freaking frustrating.
The way he and her have been working, and she should know the type of descendant he is, and she just continues to spit in his face, makes me so angry.
Yeah, she's like, you can just leave him to rot. You want to shove him in a cell, we'll just leave him here.
Yeah, she's like, oh, just let Luther take the fall and be the distraction, and we can leave. I'm like, lady, this guy has been snuggling.
Been snuggling.
He has been snuggling up to you.
He's been smuggling the half-mortal children out for however long.
You're not even willing to try and save him.
I just don't get it.
And when Diem's like, if we're gonna have peace, we're gonna have to work together. And her mom's like, hey, you don't have to trust the descendant. Just trust me because I trust them. I was like, you're kind of ruining the point of the speech right now. Yep. You're kind of not backing your daughter.
Yep.
That's fine. You can just doubt her in every single turn. And I'm just like, in order for your daughter to get to this point, do you not think she's learned a little bit? I know you kept her in the dark, but you're just like, sweetie, this is war. This is serious.
Oh.
I'm like, you've been gone for a year and she has all this power. You've seen it. You're seeing it now. And you think that she got here by just blindly walking the halls?
When she said this isn't a game, this is serious, there are lives at stake, I would have slapped her head off, probably.
Yeah.
I cannot. I would not be able to sit there and let the woman who kept all of this from me say that to my face.
Oh, yeah.
I would have went in her mind, Umbros magic and all, and learned everything and been like, all right, now you will drool out your mouth for the rest of your life.
That's why I'm saying I would have muted her.
Yeah.
Because I would have been so angry. I'd be like, any words you're saying right now, or it's like when you're just easily irritated, so you need to go lock yourself in a room. Well, Diem can't do that here, so the best thing she could do is just mute her mother.
Well, and Diem is really
honestly, that didn't even cross my mind until you said it. It was more me projecting, showing what would hurt her the most so that she could realize,
no,
you did this.
I think that that's valid too.
I think slideshow.
I think that would have been very helpful if Arlie would have seen the benefits of her hiding everything from everyone.
And because she mentioned that the Guardians, I think, were the ones that were feeding her a little bit of information, or it was the Fortos guards torturing her.
It was the
her.
guards torturing her. I will just I don't know what I would have done. Just like you, but maybe killed her.
Exploded.
I would have just
She would have If she wasn't going to be dead, she would have had to have been raised from the dead.
But it wasn't like, it's not really like in Diem's character to face a problem head on. So this is very accurate.
It does make so the whole frustration I had with Diem the first read through, and I was laughing because it's literally like us finishing it now is the same time frame we did it last year. I was frustrated with the decisions she made, the constant denial, the constant not wanting to like find the answers that she was clearly kept from. And I see that she's still trying to do that, but she's also, I can give her credit for trying to make sense of what she does have information wise. But she still blindly respects her mother's decisions on so much, even though she knows that there's so many conversations she still has to have. But she still is like, okay, well, like even with Luther, like, well, mom's saying we got to do this. So
The fact is I would not be able to move forward in any capacity until we've sat down and talked.
yeah, I
That's
agree.
just-
I think that's the most realist.
I'm
Yeah.
not a tabler.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That conversation again makes me laugh.
Chapter 55. Sophos, Meros, Montios, Phanos are the most descended that happen to be in the cells. With their numbers gathered, Diem's magic is very weak. Diem heads up the vine.
Can we take a moment of silence for her weak magic?
I don't know. I just wanted to mention that it's very weak because I thought it was, or I don't know. But she scales the stalk that's grown by the Arbos
She's
magic.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Like Jack. I just couldn't get over that. I'm like, we're just watching Diem climb up this stalk of beans. Diem calls Sarai, and when she peeks her head out of the opening, it makes her knees weak. Soldiers on soldiers on soldiers are ready for battle. Regent Remus's messenger hawk said not to let Diem or Luther into the prison, and it's on the arm of the High General. Diem creates a distraction, and the prisoners start to escape. And the way that it's described is like ants from an anthill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jumping out.
They're all scaling the stalk like Jack. Luther and Arlie take the prisoners and flee while Diem antagonizes the Descended into attacking her to replenish her power that she's lost. That's why I mentioned it, because she like eggs on the Descended to like gain her power back. And when we get insight into why the king could afford to be so dull intellectually, it's because his high general seems to be quite clever. He figures out Diem is the distraction. He figures out attacking her with magic helps her gain strength. He figures out that mortal soldiers will be more effective fighting her than Descended. She tries to reveal that she's the new king of Fortos, but the crowns don't match. The magic does, but the Fortos will not kneel to bitches like you, the High General says in reply. The High General proves more clever than ever when he starts killing mortal soldiers for every minute Diem is still standing. She uses the last of her magic to use Umbros magic and order the High General to end himself. Luther and Sarai, and I guess Arlie's on the back of Sarai too at this point, come to Diem's rescue just in time, and they head for Lumnos.
Does Sarai have like a flat back or something? Because like later on it talks about like them going and unpacking and like, I don't know, like Arlie's in the kitchen and then like Luther's over here.
It's the log
like,
all over again,
it
guys.
is. It's like very hard to imagine. But the Jack and the Beanstalk is very accurate in this. It's just hard. It's really hard for me to picture how she solely is soldiers on soldiers on soldiers, and it's just her.
A lot of this is a little bit difficult to picture, but I do think that she could use shields to like allow. I think she's powerful enough to shield them, and Luther shielding them, they could make an escape. I just don't think that every single soldier's focus would still be on Diem as ants pile out of the anthill.
Yeah. I will say more on this later, but I do think that Regent Remus is not the one that sent the messenger hawk.
Even he might not have been. It could have been somebody else, but it could have been him.
I get weird vibes in a couple chapters, and I'll explain more.
Okay.
I picture Agatha when she's like regaining her power back by basically taking it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness. But Agatha, her power is like if you throw things at her magic wise, she absorbs it and becomes stronger. And that's what I like picture
Yeah.
as like her needing that magic rebuilt basically because she's drained.
How
Yeah.
did she even run out of power though? If
She's a battery pack.
every descended is attacking her because she's the only
Yeah.
one fighting right now. I feel like she'd be pretty charged.
I would think that as well. There are just some holes that we could continue to poke at, or we can just accept as part of the story.
Is she like on the top of the anthill? So they're having like only a few can fight at a
It's
time.
a single hole. I don't know. It's
I-
like
like a
all I'm picturing
chimney?
is a manhole, and it's like down in the sewers, very low, and there's a
Oh.
beam coming out of it, and they're climbing it, and each coming out. Like the hole's big enough. Well, maybe not like one at a time.
I guess they were really deep because what I pictured was like a chimney, but I guess they're just floor level now in a hard to reach place.
Because they didn't, for the longest time, they couldn't find any soldiers or hear of them until she reached that point.
Why didn't they just like drop into the hole?
But back to Sarai's back.
Yeah.
There were 5 people on her in the previous chapters still moving around and like walking and stuff.
Yeah,
So
and
it's gotta be massive.
Later, when
Maybe she has a saddle.
she does not have a saddle.
I
They're
don't think so.
Think
They
of-
would've-
Okay, then think of their back. Maybe they're just sitting in the like slats of their their scales.
I'm telling you, she's got a flat back.
That girl got a
She-
flat back.
She got a flat back. Ain't no juice in that trunk. Because there's just no way. It's like literally the next chapter, Arlie tells Luther to go like keep watch, and I'm like, they're gonna go sleep underneath the blanket that keeps you warm forever in the other corner of the house. And I'm like, what is the dimensions of Sarai's back, and is it level?
Well,
I
at
thought she
that
uses
point,
her wing,
she
though.
spreads her wings
Yeah.
out. So they're on the ground, cuddled in her wings.
Yeah.
And Luther is not under the wings. Which I didn't understand why he gave the cloak to Diem when she's already going to be warm under Sarai.
Right.
And like, what does he have?
Exactly.
He has
His
himself.
shadows.
Yeah, his shadows will
He's
keep him warm.
drained. He can't use them.
He's fine.
And
he's
she's like, "Oh my
fine."
gosh, you brought that money and that map for those people. You knew exactly what I was gonna do." And he's like, no, those were for us."
Yeah. Actually,
Oh,
about that,
actually, no.
we are not gonna be able to get Starbucks.
But I pivoted. Yeah.
But also, I would have killed the High General. for
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That guy was an asshole.
She's like hard on herself about it. Like, I killed him just because he was bad. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the point of what you're
in
trying
a war.
to do.
You're in a war.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to kill people.
I think
'cause
it's
they're
how
bad.
she killed him. Like the fact that she used his mind. I think
Yeah.
if she would have shadowed him to death or whatever you call that,
Mhm.
it would have been better. But the fact she like made him kill himself, I will say it's a bit brutal.
I think it's pretty poetic.
I
He
just
was-
don't like that it's referenced that he slit his own throat, and all we keep getting are the repeated trauma images of her father. Because then I'm like, why are you making it seem like she did that in a spell she don't remember?
Oh.
I don't like those connecting factors.
Well,
She's trauma bonding.
she didn't kill the Fortos King like that. She just slit his artery. It just
Yeah.
in his leg. Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
But
Not
I
his
don't
neck.
like
that he
they-
didn't have
she,
protected.
She kills this high general, but then the one that's always at Lumnos
Wait,
that
what?
comes after her later,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
he's just another general, right? Or he's
He's
just
a-
another commander?
He's a commander, and he's a Fortos commander, but he's of the Amarian army, not the Fortos army.
Okay, that's what was so confusing because I was like, you keep talking about him just popping up, and obviously he's coming after her, and he was there every time she tries to arrive back in Lumnos. But I'm like, what?
It
This is a
doesn't-
different guy?
It doesn't make any sense that they could get there that fast to me when they
No.
rode on Gryvern, and he's coming from Lumnos. Like, what?
Oh, later.
What?
Yeah, later.
Okay.
All right.
But it doesn't say how much time has passed.
No, it
either.
doesn't.
So we don't
But they
get.
just landed and slept for like maybe what, a night?
No one even knows that they escaped
Escapade.
to Montios, and they show up. Plus, they slept on the border under Sarai, and then they moved to a cave, and they're found at the cave.
There's an inside
Montios.
job, but also we said that this is like a 3-hour southwest flight. Then horseback means it's like 3-hour southwest flight's probably like a 12 to 15-hour car ride.
It doesn't mention them having horses.
I'm pretty sure
And
they are on horses.
They went from Lumnos to Montios.
I mean,
Like,
the road does all connect.
but they weren't even
But they're
at
right next-
Lumnos.
those are
They
right next
went
to
to
each other.
Fortos first. They were in Fortos. How did the
They didn't go to when they fled the thing. They did not go to Fortos first.
when they left Lumnos, they went straight to Fortos.
Are you
And
sure?
the Amarian army guy, the commander, is chasing her from Lumnos. So they went from Lumnos to Fortos, and then that guy comes and finds
When
her.
do they go to Fortos?
I don't remember them going to Fortos after. I thought they just went straight to
When they go to-
Montios.
The Amarian dude, the
Yeah.
commander that finds him at the cave,
Mhm.
Yeah.
he saw them in Lumnos. He wasn't in Fortos.
Right.
So what I'm saying is before they had the whole altercation in Fortos, they left Lumnos and went to Fortos, and they beat him there.
I don't
I'm
know what
not
you're saying. I'm not
following.
following.
No.
He was in
I'm
Lumnos
trying,
the
but-
whole time. They didn't beat
Yeah.
him to Fortos. He stayed in Lumnos the whole time.
guarding the castle, right?
All I'm saying is if he was chasing and pursuing them the whole time,
He wasn't. He started pursuing them from Lumnos.
yeah, I know. And then they went to Fortos.
No. He started pursuing them when they went back to Lumnos to say their teller thing. Then he starts pursuing them. He isn't pursuing them all the way to Fortos. He's probably trusting at this point that Fortos can handle it themselves. But then
Okay.
when he sees them again in Lumnos, he chases them to Montios, which is right next to Lumnos. So it
Okay.
makes sense.
And he doesn't.
All right.
He only
My
knows
bad.
that the king is dead. He doesn't know about her crown
My
or
bad.
what happened.
And
to
I
the
will
general.
edit out this 10-minute conversation about travel time.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I got confused
No,
on
you're
the
good.
timeline of when things happened.
I knew what you were saying, though, instantly when you were like, Lumnos to Fortos. You thought from the get-go when they left Lumnos, he was
Yeah.
chasing them.
I did.
No, he started chasing them when she tried to see Teller.
I get it. I forgot about that whole they go back.
Chapter 56?
Yeah, here we go. We're about to learn about it right here.
Right here, right now.
Maybe. Yes. Yep. All right, chapter 56. Luther Diem Arali.
You can say it however you want at this point.
Mother-
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you've said it like
Mother-
10 different ways, so honestly, just say...
Mama Bellator.
there you
And
go.
Sarai catch up to the group of escaping prisoners. Arlie gives instructions for them to go to Vance in the Guardians, and Diem looks at the Descended and tells them not to go to Vance. While he'll help the mortals, he'll probably kill the Descended. Arlie argues that Diem couldn't possibly know that. And Luther's like, she totes can know that. Diem tells the Descended to find Mara or Moira at the Healer Center and Taryn in the palace if needed. Runa and Inez seem to be quite cozy together and ready to fight for Diem in her army. The trio and Sarai are left to awkwardly bicker in the woods and come up with a contingency plan if they cannot land in Lumnos. With the promise to tell her weighing heavy on her heart, Diem is stubborn about going to Lumnos as their only option. They arrive to find scores of soldiers, Amarian and royal guard alike. Teller comes to the balcony of the palace, but the army is firing at Sarai, and Diem has no magic left to protect her. Then there's an archer group firing directly from the roof towards them. Diem is hit by an arrow. Sarai, sensing this, begins to flee upwards. Luther suggests that they go to Montios. Regent Remus and Alix seem to be outnumbered and cornered by the soldiers, no longer in control of the situation. Diem makes eye contact with Alix, who mouths, "Go." The second pass to try and reach Teller results in Sarai taking a godstone-tipped arrow to the stomach. Luther says it doesn't affect Gryverns the same, and she'll heal, but only because it didn't hit her heart. Diem orders Sarai to fly to the edge of the soldier's weapon's reach. She reveals her mother's identity to Teller and begs him with her expression for forgiveness. Arlie shouts out to him that she loves him. Diem makes a comment about letting Teller choose to be a fugitive or not on his own, claiming if they come and take him now, it's them making the choice for him. Do you guys get that? Or do you think that he, by like being on the balcony fighting off people that he knows and like trusts, is him saying, no, I choose to go with you?
I think it's just her justifying having to leave him. I don't think it's really a thought-out thought. I think it's just like, how can I make myself feel better about this situation I'm in. I'm lying to my brother again.
I
Well,
also
and she hasn't given him much of a choice throughout the entire thing because she's deciding for him just like her mother was doing. And I think she's finally realizing.
She's trying to break the
Some-
generational
yeah.
trauma
There
there.
you go. Perfect.
I don't know. I feel like that's her making the choice for him in the opposite way, which is frustrating. But he is very capable. So he could pursue them and become a rebel on his own, which I
Yeah.
think is what she's like. If that's the choice he makes, then it's on him. But I don't have to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And
It's
if I take him now, I'm going to be a part of the choice.
It's just weird that Teller is like a very logical person, but after this we know he kind of like breaks up with Lily and goes to Sophos, and this is like his origin story almost.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, if you can clearly see her being attacked trying to get to you, why are you holding that over her head? She did say she'd break your mom out, and she did say she'd come back for you. She's doing both those things, but wouldn't your logical mind be like, she broke mom out, now she's back, but she can't get to me. I'm not going to hold this one over her head.
He is still only like 17 or something. Is
Get
that
a
right?
grip.
And he is just a boy.
It's just
a baby.
Just a baby.
You're a
But-
grown man.
Give him some credit because I think the reality is he does start to make decisions on his own because I don't see him on the balcony as like, Mama, help me. Like, I don't see that. I see more of like a, fuck, if you guys get any closer, like, I could lose both of you because of what is unfolding. They have the Godstone, the army, like everything. But
I don't think he is. I think you're the opposite of what you're saying, because he wants them to come there. And
Yeah.
not any moment is he saying go away or anything like that. He's like, come get me. I don't care what it takes.
He's trying to like jump off the balcony
Yeah.
to make him come get him.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like-
guess I didn't really read it as that way.
He's fighting off Perth, and somebody else is there.
Perth and Taryn.
Taryn.
Perth
The
and Taryn
whole-
are trying to
yeah.
hold him back, a mere mortal little 17-year-old boy, and he somehow gets out of their grip.
Mhm.
And he is like, take me, like, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. I think it is almost like for a second, he is a little boy again, and he just wants his mom.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that it's deep family trauma that he's gonna have to get over, and that's why he's like rebelling in this different way, like going to Sophos and breaking up with Lily, denying himself love and all that. I think it's
Yeah.
just his little
Emo stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a boy, and
He's
he's gotta become an adult, and this is him becoming an adult, and Diem might be the villain for a while.
And I will say this too. This is the chapter where I think like Remus and Alix are obviously no longer in control. And they're taking it as Remus is like, get them, fire at them. But really, I mean, maybe in the back of Diem's mind, she's understanding what's going on, because she says Remus looked uncharacteristically flustered, shouting at the soldiers who were shoving him against the palace walls.
I think he's fighting it the whole time. I
Yeah.
think he's like, this isn't you. Like, I'm the regent. Like, you have to listen to
Yeah.
me, and they're revolting.
So
Yeah,
who
that-
do you think is pulling the strings?
That sergeant guy now.
Oh, the commander from the
Yeah,
Fortos,
who's been chasing them
Yeah.
around everywhere,
Amarian.
all over Amarian.
Just because he's been cast with catching both.
Just because I think he's
Um,
probably power hungry. I don't know if he thinks that his command from Fortos is
Right.
greater than Regent Remus.
Well,
Well,
the
go check your king. He ain't still alive.
The Amarian army does think that they are more powerful than the crowns. Like
Which is baffling
decisions-
to me.
their decisions outweigh the crown's decisions. That is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be there for a balance.
It's supposed to be, but it never really has shown to be.
Well, it's obviously not. They're getting cocky, and they
Or actually, this was a thought that I had last night. I think that Remus's brother is in control.
oh, Gareth.
Yeah,
Gareth,
yeah.
thank you,
That was
yeah.
the thought I actually had last night.
Because I was wondering if you were going to bring up Aemon being like the one who's like actually making a decision that like he didn't actually speak with Remus about.
No, I don't think it's Aemon. I think it's either his dad or the general guy from Fortos.
Chapter 57. They make it to Montios, and Diem realizes Luther had planned for this, and he admits he always knew there was a chance that they'd not be able to return to Lumnos. Diem is touched that Luther would choose
Choose hose.
Diem is touched that Luther would choose her over his home. Not hose. He does like his hoes, though.
He does.
As long as they're named Diem. And he responds, Diem, you are my home. Or hose.
Diem, you are my hoe.
Diem has the realization that she isn't scared when she thinks about complete devotion and giving herself fully to Luther. Ah, yes, we love it. And then there's grouchy Mother Bellator that hasn't caught on to her daughter's immeasurable happiness and love for this man. And she is a huge cockblock. And then says, Diem, it's time for bed. The prince can have first watch. And I find myself more and more irritated that Diem allows Arlai to have this sense of authority over her. Like, that just is really getting under my skin. They spend the night sheltered in Sarai's wings.
Sarai's house. Her house wings.
Her little tent that she pitches
creates
for
that it has
all
like
of
the
them.
same Harry Potter magic that they have when they have tents and you walk in and it's like a whole freaking room. Why are you looking at ho-ho sweaters? Are we making sweaters?
Because I so want to find the picture that I just saw the other day and you just like inserted into the
to the clip.
Yeah, it's like a meme. It's like grandma and grandpa and she's wearing hoe and his sweater's where's my hoe at? And I'm like, that's
Her hoes right here. And Diem and Luther and their matching
Sorry.
Christmas sweaters.
I got distracted, but I was listening.
I think we've kind of already talked about this, but are you guys allowing your mother to boss you around at this point like she just did?
It's a hard balance because one, I've already told you, Arlie's dead at this point. Our anger has gotten the best of us.
Girl at
But
least
if
has a bruised jaw.
Yeah, if she's still alive and in this situation, I can, like, I guess fathom it's still your mom. It's still your relationship with her. You're like, do I even still love this woman? But also it's the person that raised you. I don't know. I can see the internal struggle to be like, I don't want to do anything more to mess up this relationship. But also you this book where like, Luther, you have my all. Mama can just chill.
Right?
Like,
That's what I would be like. This hot moment with Luther, especially because it vividly says he grabs me and pushes me up against him and I can feel his hard cock.
yeah.
Like, that is said. And then my mom says it's time for bed. I'm like, fuck you. I got to go find a rock to do this behind.
I wasn't even gonna say a rock. I was like, we're about to go in bedroom A of Sarai's wings and friggin' knock
Like,
this one out.
Jeez, seriously though, you don't even tell your mom that you and Luther are an item at this point. Still,
You can't not tell me that Arlie's picking up on it though, and I think that's why she's reacting the
if
way
she's
she is.
a spy, then she better be able to clue things together.
that's what I'm saying. Why is Diem allowing her to have this sense of authority over her? Because she obviously is gonna do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, well, we know eventually she does.
It's just so frustrating.
Listen, I'm all for respecting your mother. I'm all for understanding that they're doing the best that they can. But there are some blatant things that this woman does that makes me just irritated to the fact that, no, I wouldn't blindly just be like, okay, mama, yes, of course. We'll do it your way and your way alone because you know best.
If she tried to call herself my mother in front of me, I would be like, oh, where do you have that right to say that to me? Because obviously your people mean more to you than your family.
And treat her like an adult.
Please
treat her like an adult.
You were a mother to the Guardians before you were mother to me.
Like, you left me for 8 months. I could be dead. Like, I could have found out that I was half descended and I could have been killed because
Because I was so ignorant to everything.
like, what are you even doing? Chapter 58. The next day, they discover a cave to allow Luther to rest. And once he's settled in, Diem takes Sarai and goes to explore Montios a bit. She finds a stream they can stay by and hunt and fish. She hasn't happened upon any people, but she can feel their presence and she knows they're watching. She takes some time to bond with Sarai. They take off and Diem lets her fly free. They talk about Lumnos and Sarai lets all of her emotions be felt. The love, devotion, betrayal, confusion, anger. The Gryverns had followed the kindred here out of loyalty, not because they were bound to do so. And then they were betrayed and bound to the kindred's descendants. Sarai has been separated from her mate, Tybalt.
It's not Tybalt fever?
It's not Tybalt fever. It's Tybalt, the
Okay.
tiny little mouse, because that's the only name that's the only species I can think of with Tybalt in mind, is a tiny mouse. Okay, but she's been separated from Tybalt, her mate, as well. Then Diem asks if there's any kindred she dislikes, and Sarai answers with a strong feeling of detest. But then she lists off all the names of the kindreds, and those emotions remain dormant. Sarai strains to tell Diem something it feels like she's not permitted to tell. And then she shifts her gaze towards, I don't remember what direction it was, I put east. Diem looks that way and now feels called to it. Diem has another vision and a calling like she's had towards a crown. Diem uses that it must be the guardian camp her mother had mentioned, and there's something there she needs to go do. Diem and Sarai talk about Raimari, and Sarai takes her to a spot with a perfect circle of snow. Diem and Sarai mourn Raimari together. This is the spot where she died.
And releases her
Yeah.
fire.
Well, she didn't have the fire, obviously, but she does craft a rose of ice and plants it in the center. Diem's crown slips out of place where it had been hidden, and they sense a presence of others but see nothing. Like right as she puts the little rose on the circle, her crown like comes out.
Reacts.
And they see a shadow pass over the sun. They see Luther's magic sent out like a beacon. Diem returns to a pissed off mate. I'm going to say it. It's a mate. And mother. They have a little disagreement between the three of them, and Diem chickens out on telling her mom that her and Luther are an item. Then the Fortos commander is there with Godstone and soldiers. Diem is shackled and her mother is pushed into the cave by Luther. The Fortos commander is about to make them leave and have Arlie executed. Then a purple stone appears upon the mouth of the cave, trapping Arlie inside. The Fortos commander is furious, saying that Diem went back on their deal to let him take her peacefully and Luther and Arlie remain here. But Diem is adamant that she didn't do anything. And then a little girl and other Montios descended come into view, claiming responsibility for the magic and the prisoners. I just loved the part where Diem and Sarai got alone time and got to talk like bond to bond. That was just, I just love it. Do you think we learned anything new about the kindred here?
Well, obviously she's called to that spot because that's where the old territory used to be for her dada.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look on the map, Montios is the largest by far. So if you just split that in half, I'm thinking she's in these mountains and then she's looking this way and saying, if you look on the map on Google, it is to the east where her dad's land would have been.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's a calling there. Maybe she'll be called back again.
Well, it's like asking her to come claim the crown. So I wonder if she gets to have, it's weird that he's there and wouldn't he have the crown? But it doesn't mention ever.
I don't remember
having a
enough
crown.
about the ending to tell you one way or another. But I will say, does he have a Griven?
Riven?
I don't remember.
Does that mean there's another one?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if his is still alive.
He rides in on something when he attacks Sophos, but I could have been a bicycle. I literally
I don't remember.
could have.
I have a blank memory right now.
Yeah.
Memory.
It's
This is
like
all
the
news
number.
to
The
me.
Ambrose Queen came in and wiped it clean.
Yep.
Oh. Okay, so
Yes.
I think we did learn a little bit about the kindred. Like they took a good relationship with their Gryvern and like did nasty things to it.
They made them kind of slaves.
Yeah.
It's
That's
really
kind of rude.
really, really sad.
Yeah.
And also confusing. It feels like they didn't even explain anything. And then it also feels like they bound their Gryverns not to be able to tell the descendants like about
things,
it at
yeah.
all.
And I don't know if they're bound to not say anything about that or bound to not say anything about the 10th brother or 9th.
Oh,
I don't.
that
How
probably
many descended are there?
That makes more sense. There's 10.
I
There's
think that
10,
was the
10
10.
including him,
I
or
think 10 including
Okay.
him.
so I think that for some reason they were like, and by the way, you can't speak about the long lost brother that we all hate that we now have trapped. Maybe, and I think maybe that's like they didn't want anyone to go looking for him. They really did want him to be completely forgotten and imprisoned there because it was too big of a risk, so that's why. But I think it would have been helpful to maybe know about it. And maybe in that library that she threw the key away because she knew she would never need it again.
She knew.
She just was like, "No, won't need that." Maybe if she would have kept that key and went back and looked through the Umbros library, she might find some information.
I just want to know how Arlie just walked in on this land and was like, seduced by you. Done. Let's do it.
I mean, he is the most powerful out of all of them, so maybe he just worked his magic.
Well, we get her little chapter at the end of this, and I think she talks a little bit about how different he was once she became pregnant or something, isn't it? Or
And he does change. He does turn.
does.
And maybe that's foreshadowing that something's going to change in DM.
I mean, it could. She feels it the whole time. Like, even when it's described that she's like getting the power from people, she like craves it like a drug.
Yeah.
Is the description. So who knows? But I wonder if there's a choice that she's going to come upon, whether it's like love or power. And then DM, our girl's going to choose love. Chapter 59, the Fortos commander argues that he has authority to take the prisoners because she's a prisoner of the crowns. Luther, being clever, points out that the soldiers have brought Godstone into a realm without permission. The little girl picks up on this really quickly, and with the threat of immediate execution for that crime, the commander and his soldiers retreat. The girl tells them that they should accompany her and the other Montios descended to speak with the Crown Council. Diem agrees at the subtle hint from Luther. Arlie is released and assured that no harm is meant for Diem, and they all make the journey towards the Montios palace. On the way, they cross over ice bridges that are perilous and then disappear once they've crossed over. Diem becomes a little anxious realizing they're trapped. The little girl says that Luther and Arlie can no longer come with them and must wait to be served tea and snacks. Beyond that point, only Montios descended are allowed. Diem starts to argue that she's not Montios descended, but she's interrupted by Luther, who says they'll be fine staying right where they are. After receiving an awkward hug from her mother and what sounds like orders from the leader of the Guardians, not goodbyes from a mother, Diem thinks about how she'll never follow orders from the Guardians again, not even for her mother. Once they're in the Crown Council room, a man comes and removes Diem's shackles. Diem gains insight into the beliefs of the Montios people. They seem to want peace and equality, and when questioned why mortals aren't allowed, they claim it's for their own safety. The mortals cannot survive the harsh climate of Montios, but they do not really invoke the ban and have ignored the Guardian camp on their land. The council questions if Diem and her mother are guardians. Diem answers only for herself, but does so truthfully, telling them of her involvement and her exit once she saw the corruption among the group. One of the members has an outburst asking if it's Diem who's been murdering Descended and leaving 10 pointed stars carved into their corpses. Diem is horrified to learn about the massacres happening and that one just took place in Umbros, where she would have been if she hadn't left to save Luther. She assures everyone that it's not her doing, nor her goal to kill others in cold blood. She wants equality and fairness for everyone, just like the Montios people claim to want. The thing that rocks Diem the hardest is when she's told she's the Montios queen.
And I will say, I remember reading this the first time and being like, oh, she is? Like, I didn't see that coming. I don't know if I just like wasn't reading or what, but I was like, oh dang, like that makes so much sense. I also picture them coming out of the cave kind of like in Star Wars when all the little hooded figures, what are those called? I don't even know I've probably watched Star Wars once, but that's what I picture for this.
Is it the sand people or the
I know,
Ewings or something?
Could be sand, could be snow. I'm not sure. I've literally only seen Star Wars one time, but that scene is ingrained in my mind, and that's what I picture. Our little hoodlum creatures coming out and being like, hey, so peaceful.
I pictured more of like a glass glacier of the purple ice that blocks off the cave. I didn't picture just like a a shield of any kind? Or,
No, it's
like...
the palace from Frozen.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the lavender palace from Frozen, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
Wait, and then when they're walking over the bridge, it's the same thing.
It
The
is.
rising of it and then the falling back to water.
Let it
Like,
go.
What happened is Penn Cole watched the movie before writing this scene and was like, you know what, a frozen palace?
Hell
Perfect.
yes.
Yes.
And we're all
Perfect.
into it.
And they met Elsa.
But why do I picture them as like high elves?
Oh, because I do too.
Like,
Yeah.
I picture like the pointy ears, the gown, like
Yeah.
them being regal and just like
They
They're-
do seem very proper.
They're
yeah,
very
with their
elfish.
robes. Like, come on.
And lies have been spread about them that they hate mortals, but really they're like, we just don't want them dying all the
Like,
time.
we kept finding their corpses
Yeah.
frozen on the mountain. So we
Yeah.
told them to get out.
We're like, go away. You're hurting yourself.
You're dying here. We're
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada, eh?
Eh?
Hey, get out of here. Pack your bags and go.
Go. Take your bags and
Yeah.
get
I
out.
gotta get this casserole done.
Oh my gosh.
Do
Yeah.
you watch Letterkenny?
No.
Oh,
I
I've
don't know.
seen a few episodes of that.
What is it?
Letterkenny?
You'll
It's
have
like
to
a-
watch it with subtitles.
Oh,
'cause
Oh, man.
ooh,
Yeah.
you can't.
Is it? They're in Canada, aren't they? Yeah.
I think it is. I'm pretty
think
sure it's
so.
Canada.
It's
to
just
check
like
it
a funny yeah, just look it up. I won't go into it so we don't waste time, but it makes me think of it when you both were like talking like that.
All right. Even though I love Montios and it's my favorite realm, I admit they're a little bit creepy with their repeating of
A
like
little cultish.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit with like be virtuous in all things.
And in
But
their
then they don't really go into any like details until she asks about it.
well, it's like be virtuous in all things, but in their pursuit of virtue, they kind of like lost some.
Yeah, they're not like allowed to have emotions. And DM's like, who says what's virtuous? Like, where is
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
line drawn? Like, what are we doing here?
Do they respond? I don't remember. Do they
No.
answer back? They're like,
No.
ooh, shoot, she's got a point.
They might just be thinking in their little silent
Little virtuous
heads.
minds, yeah.
Because
Because that's why the little girl is the one that speaks for him,
yeah,
right?
because a lot of them take like this what is that? What is that
Vow
called?
of silence.
Vow, that's the word. Vow of silence. Once they get their magic, they take a vow of silence, or they only talk to other Montios descended.
You know,
Yeah.
that's been popping up on my TikTok of these people going on like silence retreats in the mountains of like Thailand. And they're like, this is me 10 days before the silent, I almost said treatment, before the silent thing. And then it's like, this is me after the silent thing. And I like this, it would be like, this is me before the silent thing. And there would be no part 2 because I would die. Like, I would be in my tombstone.
What did they look different?
They just kind of like talk softer. And I'm like, well, they haven't talked for 10 days. They
Yeah.
probably think
It-
they're really loud and
it-
annoying right now. I think a silent getaway for 10 days is literally up there with prison for me. I think I would
It's
be
my worst nightmare.
like
Emily,
no talking.
guess what I got you for Christmas?
Damn it.
A silent treatment
It's
getaway.
a silent getaway. Yeah.
Please don't take
We
me.
have lip tape and everything.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go.
No, it would be bad. If it's okay with you, I want to jump into a fan theory before I forget that I have it in
Let's
my mind.
go.
Do it.
Okay, so going back to when she's talking about what I quoted earlier, where it says, "But this power seemed imbued in my blood itself." She kind of expands upon it, and she goes, "In the center of that all-consuming glow, a preternatural. Is that a word? Preternatural.
Mm-mm. No, it's not. Let me see it.
It's like preter and then natural. There's a dash.
It's literally
There
spelled that
was
way.
wisdom that bathed in me, and its eerie, quiet calm, a knowledge of all that was and never will be, a glimpse from the gods themselves at a truth too pure for human minds to comprehend. And yet, for that moment, one perfect, ephemeral moment, I understood. But it was an answer I wasn't yet meant to know. Not until my worth was proven. Not until my soul had been judged.
See, I think it's
So-
the Everflame tree.
No,
Yeah,
honey.
yeah.
I think maybe, possibly, but I think that this is going back to my theory that at some point she's gonna have to die,
Okay.
or some semblance,
yeah.
something like it, in order for her soul to be judged, in order for her
That what
worth
makes
to
her
be
worthy.
proven.
Yeah.
Is she's gonna have to sacrifice herself? He's going to sacrifice himself.
Well,
Oh no!
The
Sorry.
mortals do believe that they're gonna be in the Everflames and judged. Like they do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she says gods. She doesn't say kindreds, and that the mortals refer to their beings as gods, and the descended refer to theirs as kindred.
Yeah.
So I think it has to do with the Everflame.
Well, I just think she's gonna die. That's all I was trying to point out there.
I mean, it's
It-
possible.
But like potentially come back, but like kind of like have a moment where she sits with the gods and comes back and
What if it's like,
like Elsa, where she
that-
becomes
is the rest of the book Frozen?
She becomes the fifth spirit.
yeah, that or like our favorite Sarah J. Maas, where like she dies and then they all imbue just a little bit of power just to bring her back.
Oh
They're
yes.
like, okay, well,
They could-
since you sacrificed all that and we did need you for this,
Yes.
we feel bad, so here you go.
I won't say which character, what book, but yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, not fantasy. Spotlight. Don't forget the fundraiser.
Races.
Races. But not the ones you run.
No.
The foundation that we're raising money for during this 10 episode or this 10 part series. So be sure to click the link in our bio if you want to donate. They're a foundation that help immigrant families seek asylum here in the United States. So be sure to check them out. I also think I'm wrapping it up. So
Yeah.
now let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Next episode, we will be going over chapters 60 through 67 of Heat. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and tune in every Friday on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts for a new episode of
Book Thoughts.